Ladies and gentlemen, I know y'all know what we're doing right now, right? Another road trip! And we got Al Green in my background. And he wants to, become crazy glue. So y'all hold on a second because we got to get rid of Al. I got to turn Al down because Al's a little too loud. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just had a telephone call with a young man, and we talk from time to time, and he's allowed to ask questions. Y'all ain't, but there's a limited amount of questions I let this young man ask. And as we were talking, he was bringing to my attention that some of y'all still ain't getting it. So we're going to help y'all to get it. I want you to understand what my mindset was from the time I was a child. Remember, I said I got my first job, official job, at the age of 15, where I was receiving a paycheck, and I had worked 6 months. So in that 6 months, literally, I made more than what my mother made on her job in an entire year because I was being paid twice as much as she was. That's our society where they pay men more than they pay women. We weren't doing the same job, but it shouldn't have mattered. So I'm about to explain something to y'all. I'm about to have y'all peep game, so to speak. My mother, when it came time to do my taxes, my mother told me, no, you got to go take care of that. I couldn't ask her, what do I need to do? Because she wasn't going to tell me. The same thing, y'all wonder why y'all can't get answers from me. Because my mama taught me, and I'm going to teach y'all the same way she taught me. You ain't got to sit up here and have nobody do nothing for you. You have to figure out how to do it for yourself. That's what she was teaching me from the age of 15. Like I tell you, I've been on my own since I was 15 years old. My brothers and sisters didn't even know. My mother stopped literally taking care of me at the age of 15, not because she was angry, not because she was mad, not because she was mean, but she was trying to teach me how to be self-sufficient. And I think she did a pretty good job. I mean, I think she did a wonderful job, if you ask me. Well, let's go ahead and take care of the situation. I find a tax agent. The tax agent for our neighborhood, he was a man. That mother was getting over on everybody. I didn't even know. But everybody sent me to him saying everybody goes to him. And I went to this Hawkins character. And when I went to the Hawkins, because they had a store called Hawkins, hamburger, burritos, and all of that stuff. And they had a real estate and all of that. There was a family thing. And I went to him to get my taxes done. And I go in here with all my receipts. Man, I brought receipts. I'm like, and this for my gas, this for my food. Oh, no, you can't do that. You can't, I can't do nothing with that. I'm like, what do you mean you can't do nothing with that? Oh, no, you can't. That's not how taxes work. Ladies and gentlemen, let me correct that idiot right now. That's exactly how taxes work. When you go and you work for an employer, pay attention. You're being paid for your wages, so you are conducting business. You are no longer in your personal capacity. So because you're conducting business, you're operating in commerce. You don't do that as a person. You do that as an entity, a sole proprietor. You get to write off all your expenses, not some of them, all of them. So from the very beginning, I had the proper understanding. At that time, I couldn't prove the proper understanding. I can only tell you I had the proper understanding. And because I had the proper understanding, that's all she wrote. But of course, he didn't do my taxes that way. And for a long time, I could not find anybody to do my taxes that way. Everybody was always coming up with some scheme or some process. And so I tried all of the schemes and all of the processes to no benefit to me. So I put up a video of a young man named Chris. And Chris was telling you guys about the 1040 ES. Some people have been doing that, following the information in that video, and they've been having the IRS come and shut down their bank account. Well, there's two things that you all need to know. First, you need to have the credits on your account. Because the moment they say, oh no, you can't do that, homie, we're going to take that money back, you need to have the credits and you need to amend your taxes to include those credits and offset it with the credits. Ain't my job to tell you how to do that. That's your job to know, since you want to jump out there in the middle of the street without any life preserver. That's what we've been telling you about the credits for, so that you don't have nobody sitting up there saying you owe a debt and you can't pay it. Lord have mercy. Go watch all of the videos on $400 billion. Go to the Eon channel, type in $400 billion with the dollar sign and the 400 in actual numbers, and then billion in an actual word. And watch every video from beginning to end. Then you'll know how to get your tax credits for the lawsuit. Enough said. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing you don't do is you don't put the credits in one account. Pay attention. The item that you receive from the IRS is credits. It's not money. It's a check. It's credits, people. You don't put those in your bank account and leave them there. Yes, you deposit them into the bank account, but you don't leave them there. You leave only 10% in that account. Only 10%. You can leave more, but do not leave less than 10%. And the rest of it you take out of the account through a cashier's check made out to cash. Now remember, you make a cashier's check out to cash, anybody can cash it, so you better hold on to that one with your life. And yes, you can do it. It is 100% legal. And then you take that money and you deposit it into another account. Go open up another account with those funds, or already have that account open. Since they put a hold on your account for 30 days, you want to open the account up before you get the item, before you get the credits, and then you deposit those funds via that item that's made out the cash. Now ain't nobody going into no account and taking nothing. I'm not going to explain to you why that is. I'm not going to explain it to you. You're supposed to already have done the research. It's not my job. This ain't no teaching course where I'm teaching you everything. This is where you better go do your own research. This is what that is. All right. I'm going to switch subjects just for a second. We got Casey and JoJo, y'all. I told y'all this how I roll. Come on. You were looking at a photograph. Oh, yeah. Wait. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, they ooh yeah, y'all. Oh, yeah. Okay, they ooh yeah. Y'all just gotta understand. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I told you this how I roll. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I was having a conversation with somebody a little bit earlier. We're not going to keep this going too long, but I'm going to go ahead and spell it out to you. I asked the person, what is the average speed limit for the freeway where you live? Now, he lives over in that Detroit, Michigan style area, Grand Rapids stuff. And so I'm like, well, sometimes 55, sometimes 70, but on average it's 70. Because he can't answer a simple question directly. He has to always be indirect with his answers. He needs to answer questions that ain't nobody asked. Okay, ain't nobody asked him about any other speed limit other than the average. So he finally said 70. Okay, that's the answer to my question, people. That's the answer to my question. All right, sorry. I had to let a vehicle pass, and I was pulling over off road because he was going faster than me. And because I had to pull over from 60 to 0, he had my food in my back seat, spilling over. The cuppeth overfloweth. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I told him that is not the speed limit. Well, that's what the sign says. I know that's what the sign says, but that's not the speed limit. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you guys are looking at these signs thinking that that's what it is. Okay, now I'm not trying to get nobody out there to drive recklessly. If anybody's concerned about driving and being safe, I guarantee you it's me. Okay? That's why I don't like driving, because most people out here don't know how to drive today. I already had a car on the freeway coming into my lane because they were doing something else they shouldn't have been doing. And I sitting up here having to slow down because of those idiots. Then I had another vehicle get in front of me. I'm doing 75. This idiot is doing 68 miles an hour. He gets in front of me and he maintains that speed. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going around another vehicle and you're getting in front of the vehicle that's getting ready to pass you, you're supposed to increase your speed. This idiot maintained his speed. That was slower than me because he didn't want me passing him up. And he maintained that for more than a mile and a half, blocking me with the car next to him. But then they wonder why other people in other cities shoot at them, why they end up being unalived. Man, I hate that phrase, unalived. It's not a word. I apologize. I apologize. I'm sorry. All of this, look, we can use words like killed. We can use words like murder. There is nothing wrong with the word murder. Well, it triggers me. Then you don't need to be listening to videos. They use murder in movies and all that, even in kids' movies, so please stop it. Please stop with that stupidity. I don't know where people get off on this. Well, they're going to censor you. You use those words. Who is going to censor who for using a word that's in the dictionary? I'm not implying a meaning when I use the word. When I say the word murder, I am not saying somebody got brutally beheaded. No, I'm not doing all of that stuff. It's the context, morons. It's not because you are too sensitive that you can't handle the reality of our world. Ladies and gentlemen, there is more violence on television than there could ever be in words spoken in the video. I don't understand it. I don't understand this world we're living in right now. I do know that we are headed, pay attention, so that y'all get it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are headed for some horrific times. Everybody wants to talk about some stupid election. That election has already been had. They've already decided who they're going to put on the throne next, who they're going to make the next CEO of the corporation. It's already been decided. Now, if you're not understanding that, then that means you don't understand how this world is ran. Okay? If you're not understanding that getting out the vote, there is no such thing as getting out the vote. Your vote doesn't count. Getting out the vote is you're participating in the matrix. You're giving approval for the system. Well, if you don't vote, you can't have no say-so. You better believe I can have a say-so. I ain't got to vote to be able to speak up. Better believe me, you can't interfere with the First Amendment guarantee that my right to be able to complain is my right. Right to petition for redress of grievance is the right to complain. You better believe I will always have the right to complain. They made that amendment for me, petition for redress of grievance. They knew I was coming. Okay, for the rest of y'all want to go out there and vote? Y'all go right ahead and vote. Go ahead and see if your vote counts for anything. You put Trump in office. Well, we put Trump. No, you didn't put nobody in office. They put him in office. And when he got in office, he didn't do a single thing he said he was going to do. Go back and look. Just like every other politician who promised all of these grandiose things, and well, it's because of Congress, and it's because of Democrats, and it's because of this, and they always have an excuse. They never have a reason. But I thought that he was supposed to be the most powerful person in the world. So then how come he can't use that power under the March 1933 Act, Presidential Proclamation 2039 combination, and do whatever he wants to do? You heard what I said. Because he's not out there trying to do anything for you. He's going to appease certain people, but he's got too many people donate money to him. Too many of them big donors. He's got to please them first. And their pleasure ain't got nothing to do with you. Their pleasure will always hurt you. Remember, he's putting tariffs, he says, on China. And the Democrats left those tariffs in place. That shows you that they're working together, because those tariffs placed on China increases prices for you. So the only way to counter that, ladies, is 1099-Cs. Write off all your debts. All of them. Every single penny, every single ounce. Write off all of your debts. All of them. 1099-C. Okay? And if you got a mortgage, now I'm going to tell y'all something. Y'all need to understand this. The mortgage company has a moratorium where they don't have to send you a copy of the 1099-C. If you got a mortgage, do your 1099-C where you are the debtor. They are the creditor. That's right. You heard what I said. And make sure, as the debtor, you send the debtor, the recipient, a copy of that 1099-C. Then you go and fill out the K1. K1 is a receipt. And you send that to the credit reporting bureaus. Why? Because once you send that to the credit reporting bureaus, that's your receipt that debt has been forgiven. They can no longer report it as a debt. Shh, don't tell nobody. Oh, I don't play. Like I said, I told them to leave it alone. They decided they weren't. So, hey, you're going to have to go back and listen, because I ain't going to repeat it. That's right. You heard what I said. You're going to have to go back and listen, because I ain't going to repeat it. Now, let's get back to this money. I've been telling people, I just said it again when I talked about the IRS sending you a check. That's not money. It's credits in the form of a check. You have to negotiate the check, because the check is a negotiable instrument. And you have to negotiate it for other credits. So when you deposit it into your bank account, pay attention, they credit your account. They don't put money in your account, they credit your account. When you go and you want to withdraw from the account, they give you Federal Reserve notes, which is not money. They give you fiat, what they refer to as currency, exchanging one currency for another. Nobody pays you in money, people. You're always being paid in some form of credit. There is no money. It's going to take some of you maybe 5 years to understand what I just said, because your minds are programmed by television, and you're so busy watching television and the big heists and the bank robberies and all of that stuff, and hearing the news talk about people defrauding somebody with blah, 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 blah. You can't defraud anybody with Federal Reserve notes. They have no value, so how can you defraud someone? It has to have value in order for there to be an attempt to defraud. Pay attention. Federal Reserve notes are backed by the full faith and credit of the government. It doesn't matter if they claim it's backed by the full faith and credit. It only gets backed by the full faith and credit of the government when one of my instruments are in place. Bill of exchange, bank acceptance, trade acceptances, notes, drafts, and so forth. Without that, Federal Reserve notes have no value. Don't believe me? Go back and read the law. No, you heard what I said. Go back and read. Stop listening to these stupid videos of these intelligent people trying to tell you what the law is, trying to make it seem like they have some special knowledge. Lord have mercy. If they had special knowledge, ladies and gentlemen, they wouldn't have to charge you. They wouldn't have to monetize the video. They wouldn't have to get sensational with their titles just to get more views. Subscribe, please. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe to what? Sorry. If you want more important content like this, subscribe to my channel, where I will update you on blah, 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 blah. What for? Ladies and gentlemen, almost 20,000 videos by the middle of March of next year. I am, on average, can make that date sure. 20,000 videos. Now I want you to pay attention to that number. By March of next year, 20 videos. And never once have I monetized a single one. Not a single time. And of those 20,000 videos, pay attention, 13,000 of them have been deleted by YouTube. That's why you guys are missing most of the information, because in 2017, they deleted a whole channel with 3,400 videos. 3,400 videos. They deleted the entire channel. Ain't that something? All right. Well, I'm getting ready. I could get them back because there are copies, and I know where all 3,400 copies are, but I'm not. I'm not interested. That's too much work. It's not too much work getting the copies. It's too much work going through 3,400 videos and reposting the 3,400 videos when we can just keep doing videos and the same information will be regurgitated. Look, nothing has changed. There are no new laws. There are no new rules. We're still under the same law from 1933. Oh, we're the buffalo. Oh, dude, I'm passing by where the buffalo roam. There's no buffalo here this morning. Usually there are buffalo, and I don't see not a single buffalo. Okay, well, no buffaloes today. Anyway, sorry, there is a buffalo ranch about, 50 miles from my house. And so with that buffalo ranch, it kind of gives it nature. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what you all need to do is you need to stop. You need to stop doing 5, 10, 50,000 things. Go ahead and do your 1099Cs. Make that the first thing you do, even if it's a whole week of you doing nothing but 1099Cs online. Yes, it's going to cost you $4 per 1099C, or you can do it by hand by asking the IRS to send them to you. But for my entire, 150 1099Cs, for the entire 150 1099Cs, ladies and gentlemen, I paid somebody $140 to do them for me. Okay? Just that simple. That's the same as me going online and doing them, but it wouldn't have been for the same amount. And I haven't sent the second load in because I'm getting ready to. Okay? I was getting ready to, and I means this. Send them in. Why? Because as I'm pointing out in the communication that I created for the IRS, I have every right to do so. See, the problem with most of you is you don't have any proof you have the right. Let me say it again. You don't have any proof that you have the right. Sorry, there are some workers, and the idiots are right next to the highway. Now at that point I was doing 50, and they got the door open on the driver's side next to that white line, that limit line that's on the side, and ain't even caring that there's cars coming. And then they wonder why they get hit, and I don't know what to say. But look, guess what? Our Black, ain't nobody worried. That's what he's saying. Ain't nobody worried. I told you that's for my benefit. It's playing in my background. Like I said, those of you listening to this on your handsets or on your computers, you're not going to hear the bass. But unless you hook it up to an external speaker, I'm sorry, I apologize, but y'all gonna get some bass every time I turn that junk up. Okay? You just call it junk. I can call it whatever I want. All right, back to the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. When we talk about non-cash items, you guys have been hearing about non-cash items. Your tax preparer will always ask you, do you have any non-cash items? Your tax credits are non-cash items. You guys have not been doing your taxes correctly. Even if you're not doing it as a sole proprietor, you need to be documenting those credits as non-cash items. But where did they come from? Oh, no, no, no. Here they right here of the 1099. Well, the 1099 doesn't mean you get credits. Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. It automatically does. You haven't done your research, is what you tell your tax preparer. You see, the government ain't gonna sit up here and tell me every $600 I have to write that junk off of worthless or partially worthless if I wasn't gonna receive some benefit from writing it off. The government can't have me do something that's not gonna benefit me and have me put forth the effort without there being some benefit for me putting forth that effort. So if the government says I have to write this junk off, and if the government says I have to fill out a 1099-C, if I fill out the 3800 tax credit form, I get to put the amount that I wrote off on the 1099-C. Pay attention. So if I have to put the amount for what I put on the 1099-C on a 3800 form, then that 3800 form is for credits. So you better believe I get credits. Well, that's if you fill out. No, it's not if I fill out the form. If I fill out the form, that's me documenting the credits, you moron. Sorry. Don't call your tax preparer a moron. They can't help it because they've been just as programmed as you all have been. So the 3800 form is where you document the debt that you wrote off on a 1099-C. The 3800 form is for business credits. Pay attention. Business credits. So there is some benefit when you fill out a 1099-C. That's how you have to work it out and explain it in your own words. Now, once you get this understanding, then you can move forward to the next step, and that is the 1040ES. Why do people fill out a 1040ES? It's real simple. They need to document the withholdings. You can't do a K1 and the so-called processes that these people are doing without paying the withholdings. You have to document the withholdings. Well, how do you document the withholdings? You pay them in advance. Remember, the IRS accepts money orders. So those of you who are using vouchers, take and create a statement, including the statement that the IRS receives money orders, accepts money orders. And then go and find that section from, just type in Google, campus support, bill of exchange, internal revenue code. Well, internal revenue manual. So campus support, bill of exchange, internal revenue manual. Okay? And once you do that, you'll pull up the two codes. One is in section 27, one is in section 3. Pull up the two codes, copy the text, and put that in your letter, and give them their bill of exchange. And pay your withholdings in advance with the 1040ES. Hold on now. I told y'all I include a money order or a bill of exchange. Y'all are not paying attention. See, the gentleman Chris, that's one part that his process they weren't doing. I told you that he was going to give you the basic general understanding. I didn't tell you he was going to give you everything. So for those of you who are not paying attention and you just jumped out there in the middle of that ocean, thinking that you were going to be able to accomplish something, I'm going to say it because it's the truth. You're an idiot. Oh, don't get offended. It's all right to be an idiot. You are an idiot. It's a profession. Because I told you to do your research and homework. Well, I get no, you didn't. Because if you had done it, you would have understood what I just said, and you would have already done that as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I told you, I'm not going to nobody and getting this information. I'm getting information. Well, I am going to someone. I told you, I serve Jehovah, the only true God, and I trust him with all of my heart. You all can't trust my trust in my God. You have to trust your research. So go do your research. Well, have you done it? Look, look here, Karen. Um, Stupid host. I'm sorry. Uh, I'm doing it now, but I have other people who have done it because I pointed them in the right direction in the past. So you should be asking the most pivotal question: has your mama done it, Miss Karen? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Karen, she gets on my nerves. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to bring this video to an end. And the reason why I'm going to bring it to an end is because the information I just gave you is enough to tie y'all over. Uh-oh. Ain't nobody worrying, y'all. So what I'm doing right now is I got to end y'all. Y'all got to go to sleep. Sorry about that, dudes. Bye-bye.